at gmail.com as well. I had a couple more NBA notes I wanted to get to it. The question I asked is, when did it become a bad thing to compliment a woman on her looks? And the reason I ask is because yesterday, during the New York Knicks game, yes, the New York Knicks game, something happened during the New York Knicks game. Our guy, Clyde Frazier, said this. He and Mike Breen does, the ABC ESPN games, but he also does the play-by-play for the New York Knicks. Okay. The exchange went like this, talking about a female referee. Mike Breen, quote, "They're really impressed with her." Walt Frazier, quote, "Yeah, she's nice looking." Mike Breen, no. Immediately, quote, no, end quote. Immediately, he shuts Walt down. But I'm like, all right, what did he do wrong? Like, if she's a nice looking woman, she's a nice looking woman. Like, he didn't say, like, he didn't go like an extra mile to start talking about, man, I bet she look good in a bikini, or no creepy stuff like that. He said his actual quote was, yeah, she's nice looking. That's it. And people want to make people are really asking what should be done to Walt Frazier. They should make him wear a regular suit. First, that should be his punishment. That should be his punishment. Go down to Brooks Brothers and get him a regular gray suit with a nice burgundy tie and a nice white shirt up under it. If you really want to kill Walt Frazier, there it is. Don't suspend him. And throughout the whole game, put like a Walt cam on him with a little box down in the corner while the game's going on, so you can see how miserable he is. The entire game.
He's like the black Craig Sager. Like, man, I think he's trying to compete with Craig.
No,
like,
Craig Sager look at him and be like, "Damn, dog." Even Craig be like, "Man, damn, you don't think you can tone that down a little bit?" Yeah, Walt be on some next level. Like, that's how you know he don't have no friends. Hey, Walt Frazier ain't got no friends.
But I ain't gonna lie, she is nice looking. Because I know which one it was. Because it's a couple of them in the league. Right.
Now it's about to get creepy. We're gonna have to sanction you now. Because now you about to start Google imaging people.
No, I just wanted to see who it was. Yeah. It's Lauren Holtkamp. And she is nice looking.
Well,
that's the same chick that your boy with the Clippers.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. Yeah, that's the one he was tramping off. Yeah,
that was a whole other thing too. That like stop treating these women referees like women. Treat them like referees. If he made a finable comment against the referee, find him and get over it. Don't start, well, he made that comment because she's a woman. Okay, you can't avoid that. She's going to stay a woman, as far as I know. And any other woman ref is going to continue to be a woman. So everything one of these players says to them, you can't just write it off and say, man, he just said that to her that way because she's a woman. He said it to her because she's new, because she's both. Who going to say he's lying? Exactly. Yeah. Crickets. Right. Exactly. No one's going to say he's lying because both things are true. He said if that's the way she's going to call it, either she's not going to make it or she's in the wrong league or something like that. She's doing the wrong thing or something like that. Oh, he said it because she's a woman. And even if he did, so what? So what? You know, when you anytime you're any type of trailblazer, you have to accept certain things until they become the norm. And once they become the norm, like you think black folks, you think after that bus strike was over, these white folks were just cool with black folks sitting in the front of the bus?
Absolutely not.
Of course not. That's where Jim Crow came from. They were mad as hell. They were mad as hell about slavery being over. They were mad as hell about people winning victories and being able to sit in front of buses and stuff like that. But eventually, we get to the point where it's no big deal.
Because they're not even on the bus.
Well,
in most cases.
There's that.
I know here in Atlanta. In Atlanta, you know, it's like if you see a white person on the MARTA bus, like, they might live in town and just might be going a couple stops away. But
that ain't got a trolley though. Casino gave him a trolley.
The streetcar,
or
right?
Whatever it is, yeah.
That's a whole other story. Money is losing money for the city because nobody's riding.
Yeah, eventually, those streetcars will appear on World Star because somebody will get knocked the F out on a streetcar.
Yeah.
World Star.
Oh man.
Yeah, somebody.
Oh my God.
The other thing I read today, as it pertains to the NBA, something very, very sad, man. Just
what is that?
Your boy, man, Mookie, man.
Oh, man, you know
Mookie,
what?
Mookie Blaylock.
Dude, I read that article. Look, I read that article, and it gave me a completely different insight on Mookie,
Dude,
and on everything that happened in the course of that whole accident where that young lady ended up dying from those injuries.
my man, you don't understand. I'm reading this, and I'm literally getting pissed off. I'm getting mad as hell reading this article, man. Like, Mookie murdered that woman. I don't care what nobody said. He murdered her. He signed paper. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, let me do this professionally. Okay. I think it was last May. Former Atlanta Hawk point guard Mookie Blaylock was in a car accident that resulted in the death of a mother of 5. Her and her husband were in their minivan. They were just about to move back to Atlanta from a suburb of Dallas. They were on their way to check out the new house, and Mookie Blaylock, I think, was driving the wrong way in a town called Jonesboro here in Metro Atlanta, and rammed his car into the passenger side of the minivan, eventually killing the young lady. Initially, people thought Mookie was drunk because he had already had many a DUI before this. DUIs, which caused the judge to say, you need to sign these papers. You're not safe to drive. That, along the fact, what we end up finding out later, is that what ended up happening was he wasn't drunk. He was having a seizure at the time of him driving the vehicle. But prior to, like I said, he signed paperwork that said him driving was too dangerous for other people. So
right.
He knew the danger. And the reason he was having the seizures, and I had never heard of this, because he was such a damn alcoholic, his body was seizing up out of withdrawal for alcohol. I had never heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody being that much of a drunk. That's like crack stuff and heroin.
That's what happened to real drunks. That's why,
My God.
Like these bums out on the street. That's why they'll drink anything. They just want to get a taste of alcohol, because after a while your body just becomes dependent on that liquor being in your system. And for Mookie, I mean, dude, when I read the article, it was just kind of like the typical athlete getting the pass, and him getting the pass led to what ended up happening. I mean, from what I read in the article, he had some DUIs while he was playing.
He had one.
On record. Why? Because the officer would downgrade the charge.
Yeah, to a
or they
misdemeanor.
would call somebody and say, "Can you come pick him up?"
Right. He actually had 4 in total. There was the one you talking about where they called somebody to pick him up, and 2 others where he actually got the charges downgraded to a misdemeanor, and then the one that was actually a DUI, and then he caught like 6 more after his playing day. Like, this dude was playing basketball high on marijuana, which
that's not new. That's not new.
And then we're gonna talk about this marijuana thing here too. I got that in my notes as well. Some things came out today as well about marijuana and marijuana policies within pro sports. So we're going to talk about that hopefully before we get out of here in the next 35
minutes. Did you know? But did you remember? I didn't remember this when I read the article, that this fool tried to actually get on the Hawks charter plane,
right?
With weed that he got in Vancouver or Toronto.
They were going to Vancouver, so this dude was trying to smuggle some junk over the border. Like, my man,
the plane, right? Dude, come on, man. It might have been some great stuff, but was it really worth that?
Here's the other thing: like, people might be hearing us talk about Mookie Blaylock, and some people may remember Mookie and some people may not remember Mookie. But the one thing that stood out to me in the article was the people who know him talk about how cheap he was and the fact that this ain't no broke dude. He's not one of those. Right. He's not one of those dudes you saw on the 30 for 30 thing, the broke thing. He's not one of those. He got his money. So their excuse was Mookie has a driver, but his driver was busy that day. My man, Uber is a call away. Uber is a call away. Like you're a dude. They say he just had a seizure like a couple days before that. How you behind somebody's wheel? Like, you don't understand, man. Like, you just don't understand how pissed off I was for that husband. And while he was like, nope, I don't forgive him. I sure as hell don't. Because I wouldn't either. Like, if you killed the woman I loved because you were just being... Like, this is not an accident. I hope I didn't say that. I hope I called it a wreck and not an accident. Because it wasn't an accident. You constantly got in your car when you knew you weren't supposed to. And here's the other thing about fools and idiots. Nothing scares them. Because this fool, while he was awaiting trial, went out drinking again with one of his buddies. And I guess his version of being responsible, yeah, he gave his drunk homeboy the key. His drunk homeboy, whose license was also suspended. Right. To go kill somebody. Like, man... I was reading this article, and the whole time, like every paragraph I read, after the paragraph, I was literally like, F Mookie Blaylock, man. F him, man. I hope he get everything that's coming to him in jail.
But everybody that they interviewed knew that this dude had a problem. Even Lenny Wilkins, the former Atlanta Hawks coach, said that he sat Mookie down and talked to him about his weed use and alcohol, and that he really never complained too much about it because dude showed up for work every day on time, and that and came to play ball.
Because
he never even really
think about it. What are most junkies? Most junkies are con artists, and they're charming, and they're able to talk, fast talk people. Most junkies are like that. They can convince people, I'm a good person. And people categorize them that way. Even to this point, even to right now, he's sitting in jail right now, and no one still has anything bad to say. Anyone who knows him still has nothing bad to say about Mookie Blaylock. That dude is a murderer, B. He took that man's wife.
Well, it was definitely irresponsible. I'll say that. It was an irresponsible act. He wasn't supposed to be driving. Like I said, he was supposed to have gone to jail a long time ago, if you ask me. Just based on the sheer number of DUIs that he's had, that went away, and the ones that stuck. He should have been in somebody's jail a long time ago, and this accident probably could have not happened.
Yeah, man. Screw that dude, man. I don't know, man. It's just.
Well, he wasn't drinking in the daytime. He was only drinking at night now.
Yeah, like what? Craziness, man. It's like
what?
Yeah, man. I'm just good, man, on that whole situation, man. When you have prior knowledge of your condition, a condition in which you like, this dude don't got epilepsy. For those of you who don't know what a seizure is, it's your brain rebooting. Like the same way you reboot your computer, it's your brain shutting down and rebooting. Something that he did to himself because of his abuse of alcohol. This is why, great segue, this is the reason why I'm such a proponent for the legalization of marijuana. Like, I'm not a dude who's ever smoked marijuana. Ever a day in my life. I've never smoked marijuana. But if somebody can do that to somebody off something that's legal, hell no. There's no way you can tell me that something that at least has some medicinal purposes. Science has told us this. Has some medicinal purposes. Can be illegal. Like, no one has ever in the history of weed overdosed on weed.
Died. You never died on weed.
What Cat Williams said, he said, you might have thought that ninja was dead. He about to wake up hungry as hell, about to eat up everything in your damn house. Oh, when Cat Williams was funny. You remember those days?
Yeah.
He's coming here, as a matter of fact. Yeah, he's coming here with us.
Before he started getting... Well, a couple of weeks ago, he was so smashed he couldn't even perform. He had